She's a business mogul, #1 author, and wellness expert.
How can I help?
And now Chantel Ray Finch and her amazing guests are here to guide you on your journey to health, wealth, and godly wisdom.
Time to level up.
Welcome to the Health, Wealth, and Godly Wisdom podcast.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. We are so excited you're here with us. And today we are talking about the 5 steps to scale your business so it can grow without you. And so I've got my wonderful co-host with me here, my husband, Rhyan Finch. Welcome.
What up, what up? Let's do this thing.
All right, well, we're going to start with a really uncomfortable question. And the question is, if you stepped away from your business for 3 months, completely disappear, what would happen? Would it keep on running or would it just stop? And if you asked most business owners, if you had to come up with a percentage, what would you say that 3 months, them walking away, what percentages of businesses?
Well, what you'd hope is that 30% would say my business would grow without me, 30% would say it would stay how it is, and 30% would say it would go down. But ultimately, I mean, the reality of it is no matter what they say, by far and large, it will go down without the leader in place.
Yeah. And a lot of them, the business would completely stop, you know, and if your honest answer is it would stop, then I have some news for you. You don't actually own a business. You own a very demanding, very expensive job, no matter how profitable it is.
But as we explain this to them, I really think that it's going to help them see where they're at. And I mean, the biggest part of being able to go out of that situation is to assess that that's where I am, right? Where am I? Where am I in this business? How's it placed? And then how do I get to the next level?
Yeah. And so like right now we have a power washing business that we know that is for sale right now. He's making about $150,000 a year.
But it's dependent on him because he's doing the power washing.
Completely.
He hasn't replaced it. He thinks someone will come in and take the business if he goes out of that spot. And so, you know, he's got to move almost to a marketing part of that. And so, you know, it's kind of, he's level 1, if you will. I mean, because he's doing the work, right? And so you do the work and he gets all the money from doing the work. That's level 1 of this. You know, if you go to level 2, is you do the work, but you kind of have some admin, right? Like whether that's a showing assistant or you have somebody doing marketing, generates a lead, and then you've got to convert it into making other money. So that would be, you know, kind of level 2. But the level 3 of it is where you start to hit that turning point, which is where, okay, now you've got it where you're orchestrating the person doing the marketing and orchestrating the person doing the sales, if you will. And that's the level where it kind of starts the turning point, and then you can tell them the rest.
Yeah. So level 1, you do the work, you sell the work. Level 2 is you sell, others do the work. Level 3 is others sell and others do. Right? The business has a large sales engine. It has an operations team. You've shifted from being the engine to being the architect, and that's the turning point. And then level 4 is systems replace personalities. Like everything is documented, roles are defined. If someone leaves and is out for a week, you know, they've got a backup for a backup for a backup.
This is what I think you're really good about. I almost would skip this step or not deal with it because I'm not detail oriented, but I feel like for whatever reason, your brain just does this naturally.
I like a backup for my backup for my backup.
And the process and the system and the checklist and the system of all of that. You're just a systems girl.
And then level 5, which is where we want all of you guys to be, which is leadership runs the company without the founder. And this is the only level that commands that premium exit that we want you to have. And the sales systems generate the leads. The business functions as an independent organism, and you are just the owner of an asset. You are not an operator of the machine. And that's really the level 5 business is the only kind that sells for millions.
That's the dream.
Yeah, it really is.
Have you ever asked, God, are you speaking?
What on earth am I here for?
In a world full of noise, opinions, and distractions, He's been trying to reach you. In Tune In, God's Voice, Your Purpose, it answers these questions. Hear God, find freedom, discover your purpose, make a difference. You'll finally learn how to know the difference between God's whisper and your own inner noise, how to reinvent yourself with every new season, and how to answer the question every person asks at some point. What on earth am I here for? If you're ready for clarity, direction, and breakthrough, this book is your guide. Quiet the chaos. Hear Him clearly. Step boldly into your calling. Tune in. God's Voice, Your Purpose.
And so I want to talk about an acronym that I talk about in my book, and it's called CARTS.
That book right there?
Yes.
Buy it on Amazon?
Yes.
I can't believe anybody that owns a business doesn't buy this book. I mean, there's just so much in it that it's like, you know how you do like the juice is worth the squeeze? Like in this case, it's like you're going to get your money's worth on that book. I mean, I've read it multiple times, so I know.
Poor thing. Every book, that's my 8th book, and every book I'm like, okay, we got another version. You got to read this one now. We've got another version. You know, I made some edits. Now you have to read this.
Spiritual value aside, this is probably the best one, though. I mean, it really is. I mean, you know, the one is the Bible study side of it. You know, you got the weight loss. I mean, so I know you have a lot of them that have value, but this is. I mean, it's my cup of tea.
It's your cup of tea.
Yeah, it's
for
my.
sure.
Yeah, this is.
All right. Well, let's run them through the CARTS framework, and the first one is C, commodity. And a lot of people are like, wait a minute, what does commodity mean? And so my favorite analogy for commodity is Dollar Shave Club, right? So like,
Oops. I came in the t-shirt and the thing, your beauty on the beast.
Well, the first one is there consistent recurring demand for what you do? And, you know, with AI coming in, it's like you want to make sure that your business is a commodity. So give some examples of this, of things that maybe are going out and some things that we are good and some things that we don't need anymore.
Well, anytime you say this, I don't know why, but I always think of coffee. And I know like you wouldn't think of that being like toilet paper and toothpaste, you know, or things that you really have to have as a commodity, you know, clothes. But, you know, I don't know why. Coffee seems like a commodity. The whole world kind of runs on it. That's how they've thrived with
You've tried to give up coffee several times. Honestly,
I'm bad at it.
He will give up coffee for like 3 days and then he goes right back to it. But I mean, you love it. So we just didn't have our quiet time in the morning. We spend time with God. We drink our coffee. It is what it is. We drink
commodity.
Organic coffee, and you even cut all your cream out of your coffee. So it is what it is. So, all right. So C stands for commodity. A is automatable. So talk about this, of why this is so important to have something where the systems and the technology can handle the delivery without you being the one in the room.
Well, this goes back to those 5 points we were just talking about, but essentially this is that level 3 where you're the architect of that. And so you start designing the things to be able to automate. This is how that flow is supposed to go. So you can just see on a whiteboard a visual of this box to this box to this box, and you process that going all the way through, whether that's with somebody else or a computer system. That automation is you have to have it. Otherwise, you're just doing the job over and over. What I like to do is I tell people, kind of like the picture of this is like in the old days, they had a city and they'd be next to a river. Well, if you wanted water to cook or bathe in, you had to go take a bucket of it and bring it over. But to automate means to dig a ditch, and it's a pain to dig the ditch, but now the water is automatically over there. And in our case, it's plumbing, right? So, but that's automating for your business.
Yeah. So back to the Dollar Shave Club. It's one of my favorite companies. I'd like to meet the CEO of who created that. But again, Shave Club, men's razors don't dull based on economic cycles. Women need to shave their legs and other parts of their body. So just like, you know, you need a new razor every single week, you know, multiple times like clockwork. So that predictability is everything to a buyer. A, automatable, they have it where you're buying those razors every single month. So R, we have standing for replicable. So like, can this model be duplicated across teams, across cities, across markets without losing quality?
Well, and when you do that, somebody's going to listen to this for replicable. You know, you have two different business types, right? Like, so if you start selling an online business, replicable is like you can sell it anywhere and everywhere, sell the same product for the same price everywhere else. And if you ran a ice cream shop or a Starbucks, they're replicating in a new location, so they got to take that box and create a new box in a new territory.
Yeah, and if your business only works because of you, it can't be replicated. And if it can't be replicated, it can't be scaled.
It's what I love about helping people get to business location number 2. Because once you do it, it's aha goes off. Oh my gosh, I can get office number 2, I can get office 100. Because if 2 can run without me, then number 100 runs without me.
Yeah. Well, the next one is T, which is trainable. And that is, I like to say,
trainable. I mean, it's been, 18 years? I mean, I feel like I'm pretty trainable now.
Yeah, and I like to say, can a 7-year-old or a 70-year-old do it? Or, you know, sometimes we say, can a 14-year-old or a 70-year-old use it? But can an average person be taught to deliver your product or service? right? So back to the Dollar Shave Club. It's like you can teach people how to put the razors in the box and you can get it.
We're not having 7-year-olds shaving. I'm just kidding.
Well, trainability definitely creates durability. And then the last S stands for simple. And this is the one that I think most entrepreneurs, we just like to complicate everything. Every entrepreneur I know.
Speak for yourself.
We all do. We need other people in our lives that go, no,
you don't need
simplicity
that.
scales. You don't need that. Get rid of it. You know, simple businesses scale. Complex businesses stall. Complexity fails. Simplicity scales. So when your business has all 5 of these, that is when we can take your business to the next level.
You can take that cart and go.
Yes. So I've written a book called Fasting to Freedom. It's called The Gift of Fasting. And it really talks about if you want to do longer fasts, deeper fasts, if you're looking for freedom. And then I have about 5 chapters. I've written a book called Tune In God's Voice. We have the book and we have the Bible study. And again, in both of these, there's about 4 chapters all about fasting and how fasting can help you hear God's voice. So you can do the Bible study with friends. You can get a group of people together and do it together, or you can join us on Zoom or get the book and, do it by yourself. So hopefully you enjoy. So let's just talk about buyers don't pay for revenue. They pay for profit that exists without the owner. So I want to kind of talk about that a little bit because I feel like my favorite line, revenue is for vanity, profit is for sanity. But that is a really, really big one. But talk a little bit about what you're seeing that people are doing to get their profit up.
You can't put a hard line that they don't pay, right? Like, so, they don't pay for revenue, they pay for profit. Yeah, yes, you want a cash flow or return on your money, that's there. But a strategic buyer will see it and say they can simplify some of these things or can join some of the things. So they want to bring in an amount of money and they know that amount of revenue leaves enough margin that they can make more money. So, but yeah, of course they want profit.
We just had a business come to us that we just looked at their P&L. They were losing about $40,000. It was in the health and wellness industry. They were losing $40,000 and they wanted to sell it for $300,000. Yeah, $300,000. And again, they didn't have the equipment that justified it.
He was losing money. That's why he wanted to sell it.
Right.
It was so that's what it really comes down to. And I think a lot of people get it. That's the pain of keep losing money over and over. And at the same time, we could probably go in and coach him to help him turn it around, or you buy it at a discount to then go turn it around for them. So,
yeah. So let's just talk a little bit about recurring revenue, because even for that business, one of the things he could do to turn that business around in that wellness industry is create a recurring revenue. So they do shots and wellness stuff like that. They do IVs, they do shots, stuff like that. Am I boring you?
No. I've been up since 3, so.
Yes,
and I've been going, so I just stopped here for this after my last meeting. So,
but let's talk about a perfect example for him, how he could create recurring revenue with that health and wellness industry.
Well, if he turned around and set up one of the rooms with a red light sauna, a sauna, oxygen machine, I could picture something like that. He would set that up, and then someone would pay $100 a month, and they would get all of it to include a B12 shot or something like that, a selective shot. You could just quick like that turn it into the item of value that was there. You put it on one, and then now you have recurring with the customer base you already have. Sorry, That was just off the cuff.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that we can do that literally can 5x, 10x your business. So that's huge. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about, I want to do an acronym for you guys. So Craig Rochelle calls it GETMO, good enough to move on. One of the things that we're seeing that most entrepreneurs, we'll just use Craig Rochelle's, which is GETMO, good enough to move on. So I want you to give a couple of analogies where you see people getting stuck in that.
There's a million of these, right? This is where I want to shake people because and you do this. So for example, they want the perfect logo, the perfect website, the perfect business card, the perfect system, the perfect process for this big, huge business, and they ain't sold the first product. And then it's go on, get it right, get the name of the company, get an LLC, and then get out there and do it. We've done businesses before. We had a check before we had the bank account open up. And so because we don't get enthralled with the name and the logo and all the other stuff that you're trying to get it to where it's not there. At the same time, we've created companies, had logos, built them really well, and then went, that logo sucks. We need to change that, right? So, that's part of business.
Yeah, I just think constantly asking yourself, what percentage of my business am I doing dollar productive activities? And then the other piece that I really want to talk to you about is even if you have zero intention of selling right now, because building a business that can run without you doesn't just increase your exit multiple, it gives you your life back while you still own it. And I've just seen so many people that are burning themselves out right now. And there's a massive difference between a business built to run and a business built to sell.
Well, I like it. I try and put myself in their shoes, right? Like, so today, let's just say I'm going to do all the work and I'm going to build a business and I want to get 10 or 20 grand in from doing all of it. And that's fine. But then what happens in month 2, I'm doing it again. In month 3, I'm doing it again. And so you're doing it, but at some point they have to pause, stop, and reallocate those funds. If they're doing that to make 10 grand or 20 grand and then sending it out to themselves personally and spending it, that's technically the spending problem that's causing the business problem. And instead of going, all right, I've got to skinny this down, put myself on a payroll, live off of that payroll, keep whatever's extra in there, and then instead of having this nest egg of money in the bank account, you reapply it to a technology, to an employee, to a product, to marketing, whatever that's going to be, so that you can turn around and get more revenue or more growth.
Yeah. And so a business that's built to sell operates independently. It has systems, it has leadership, it has recurring revenue, it has documented processes, and it can thrive whether you're in the room or on the beach or in Greece. That's his bucket list. So ask yourself, where do you want to go?
Yeah,
he wants to go on a yacht in Greece.
I don't know why. It just looked cool. Maybe I saw it too. What is that? Below Deck or something like that? I saw it. I was like,
it was. We were watching Below Deck, and he was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. So I sleep in that little bed, and I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't going to work for me.
Yeah, so we want to help you build a business that sells for millions. And here's the question, even if it's not today, not someday, we want to build your business so that if anything happens, if you get sick or you just get burnt out, I'm telling you, when you get burnt out, that switch goes fast and you want to be able to sell it. So what level are you on? Are you on level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, whatever level you're at? We want to help you with your very next step to move to the next one.
Speaking of level 10, I think you're a dime.
Oh, you're so sweet. All right. Well, we would love to help you move to the next level. You built something. Now let's make sure that you can sell it for everything that it's worth. So if you want help with this, we'd love to help you. Grab my book, Grow, Scale, and Exit, and then book a call with us. We have, if you own a business, we can give you a free 15-minute call to see if we're the right fit to help you take it to the next level. And we also have a lot of really great YouTubes that you can go get all of our free content and then book a call and let us really help you take it to the next level.
A lot of that's just priming you, getting you ready for when we talk about it, then it's going to really go fast.
Giving you that recurring revenue. I'm telling you, we have helped so many businesses literally with this recurring revenue that have increased their business 5x, 10x, even 20x. So we'd love to help you. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.